Oh wow, look at it. Shout out to Mel. You know.
Right in there.
Oh, I forgot to do this from
Yeah, I haven't done this in forever.
yeah, I got a new pin. I got a new pin because some people complained about my pin.
Oh yeah, I saw that. You could have just done something or just took it off of there.
No, that had 30,000 views, so I was just like,
That's true. Let it ride.
let, let it keep going. Welcome everybody. We'll just wait for people to get in. So Paolo fan club said, uh finally Apollo appreciation live. Oh, I'll tell you, Paolo, fan club. Paolo's actually coming to my office on Thursday. We should be doing an interview
Nice.
on Thursday, so I have something for you specifically for Paolo coming in the next couple of weeks.
Nice.
Zion just had his next workout. Yes, sir. We're about to go second in the draft. Shout out to y'all. Yeah, we gonna discuss all that starting lineups and all that. But hey, it's society. You got to be excited for this Duke season coming up. You got to be excited. We still do the intro. We still doing the intro. Yeah, let's do the intro.
Yeah, let's do it.
Nobody outside of Kentucky cares about that rivalry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who cares about
wins 2015 or 2010, and everybody is saying 2015. So
just got back up here, John, a couple days ago. So been in the gym a little bit. Me and Joey been in the gym working out together.
As Duke fans, as Duke coaches, because I get excited over there, even in my suit, I'm grabbing Coach Tyler's leg, like.
I just realized Nolan is still in the.
Yeah, the same thing.
I got to take Nolan out. I mean, we still ride with Nolan, that's a Louisville coach now. That's a Louisville coach. Shout out to y'all. It's been a minute. It's been what was the last show? April
4th, 2nd, something like that. One we don't want to talk about. Never mention it again.
Oh yeah. That's in the past. But yeah, we're back for a special edition, off-season edition. Got a lot to talk about. Got my guy Ryan here. Got Russ here in Europe. Where are you in Europe, Russ?
Buonanotte. I'm coming to you from Italy, baby. Cinque Terre. I'm here in a bathroom in Italy.
Big money man. Big money man.
Yes,
oh man, we got
yes,
Jeff Goodman.
Sir, had to
what,
do it.
What
to
happened
him.
with Jeff Goodman? Jeff Goodman. Yeah, I've been seeing all the field of 68. They've been talking about Trevor Keels for like 3 weeks. So like move on. But yeah, fellas, how y'all been?
Good, man. Been good. It's nice to finally have a little bit of a roster to look at and not be worried. I mean, I wasn't worried, but before the Proctor news and after like every transfer kept dropping, I was like, who's going to play the 2 or I guess even the 3 next year? And now it's just nice to have a roster settled, a really good one at that. And so, man, it's fun, man. Now it's a summer of hopefully no more big news. We can relax for a few months, watch the guys roll in and get those Duke men's basketball video tweets like we always do, and we get way too excited over what's going to happen next season because we're going to see the Kale Catchings and Ryan Young going off in some practice video, and everybody's going to get all excited for it.
Oh
Can't
my
wait.
gosh, Russ, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm tired. I've been doing a little doing the Europe thing, something I've never done before. This is the first time I've ever been to Europe. I'm really excited about it. But I'm also excited to get back, excited to check out, some of the players we got coming in a little bit more. Certainly we got some kids that we're scouting that are California kids, or at least California way, 2023, 2024. So I'm excited to go watch some high school basketball in the fall, figure out what that schedule is going to be. I love basketball, man. I'm stoked.
I feel you. But yeah, I mean, we got a lot to talk about, but I guess to rewind, a lot has happened since the tragic ending to the season. Obviously, it's the Scheyer era, but I guess we first could talk with the the charade that happened with Trevor Keels, and everyone that was just waiting for Trevor. Number one, let's never do that again. I hate that so much. Why are we waiting so long? I'd rather him just declare, sign an agent. We don't need to wait 3 weeks, a month, just to find out if you're leaving ultimately. So I hate that process. But I guess we have to start off with it. Ryan and Russ, what did y'all think about Trevor Keels?
Yeah, I wasn't super surprised in the end of it. Was more so just like you said, since it waited till the last minute, everybody's hopes kind of got up there. I mean, literally from like 4 p.m. in the evening on the day of the deadline, our group chat between us three was like, at 1 second we're hearing he's coming back. There's a good chance he's coming back, and then it was like, nope, he's gone, and then it was back to he's coming back. And I mean, it really sounds like he was torn, especially some of the more plugged in guy or the national guys were saying it was actually a tough decision for him. So I never want to get on a guy for waiting and taking their time to do what's best for their future. But man, it was killer as fans, because those 2 weeks, it was like, I always thought he was gone. Like it seemed like he was gone, man. And then the day of, he's still doing NBA workouts. And so, I'm not surprised. It was tough for it to go down at the last hour or two.
Yeah, I will say quickly, just I guess I already told some people, but like there definitely was a chance that Trevor was coming back, and I mean, if y'all wanna, I mean, take this and run with it, but Nolan Smith was definitely pushing Trevor to go back to Duke. He was in that final process of talking with his agent. Like Nolan was in that group, obviously, because he recruited Trevor, and probably the reason he went to Duke. But Trevor was pushed back to Duke. He ultimately made the decision. Yeah, the NBA was better for him. But go ahead, Russ.
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, we've gone through this a couple times now. If a kid waits that long, assume he's gone. It's just going to be better for your well-being, your emotional well-being, and generally, it's going to be true. I mean, even with NIL, I think people really overestimate if you are hearing in your ear that you might get a guaranteed deal from the NBA, whether it's a first-round guaranteed deal or a beginning of second-round NBA deal. That's something that is very, very valuable to kids, especially if that kid maybe just like would rather spend 24/7 on basketball instead of having to go to classes, instead of having to do all the stuff that college requires, right? So it's still going to have such a huge, huge pull on kids. So, just because NIL exists now doesn't mean that we're not going to see kids leave if they're in that 1 through 40 in the draft, guaranteed deal sort of range, which even though I don't know if Trevor necessarily has a first round grade guaranteed, I do think he's a pretty safe bet for a guaranteed deal coming into the draft. So even if it doesn't happen, he likes his odds. I like his odds. I understand. And again, if he waits that long, you just got to assume he's gone. Yeah,
and the comment you just pinned there, somebody who declared earlier, I think Keels was one of the last ones to declare, and I think, Zion, you went back to, and when some people pointed out that everybody was congratulating each other on the team. And I don't think Roach or Keels ever did any sort of congratulatory stuff on social media after that happened. So I don't know what that was about, or if that was any sign of things to come, but I don't think I don't think he announced early. He was one of the last ones to announce. So, I have no issues with guys going and giving the process a try. You might as well. I mean, Javin did it. Marquise Bolden did it. Like, there's no reason not to just go get feedback. And, but yeah, how about Joey Baker stuff? I guess I'm going to ask you, Zion, any insider info that you heard? Because I didn't hear anything. I had no clue that it was happening, no clue it was coming down the pipe, and it happened to go on the same day that AJ Green visited Duke, who, in my opinion, surprisingly stayed in the NBA draft, and he would have been a good fit as well. But that came out of nowhere, I feel like.
Yeah, it definitely came out of nowhere. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think I searched into it too much. Like, it happened, and I was kind of just like, okay. Like, to be honest,
Well,
I give you my transparent response. I saw it and I was like, okay. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's not like we're losing a ton there, but it was just weird how they like announced that he was going to be back and then he wasn't. It's just obviously something changed. He had a talk with the coaches and we were trying to go a different direction. He wasn't going to get much playing time next year regardless, because I mean, at this point we know what you're getting with Joey, and it's probably not starting 2 at Duke. So yeah.
No, well, he's definitely not a 2. I feel for Joey. The red shirt burn, regardless of how that played out and who had what say and whatever, that was pretty clearly a mistake. You know, I mean, hindsight's 20/20, but you know, that definitely did not help. If he had that extra year, then maybe we can see some more development. I also think he had a very short leash last year. I think that sort of goes without saying. Maybe that's a deserved short leash. You know, I'm not saying it's not, but it is very, very hard for a kid to develop when the leash is that short, especially a kid that we know does have defensive issues, you know, which Joey definitely does. I think we're going to see some players with similar defensive issues next year who will probably be better on offense than Joey, granted. But, you know, it'll be interesting to see what John does with some young players in regards to what their defense is and how short he keeps that leash. I'll be very interested to see that.
yeah, I would say, I think maybe, I mean, I'm assuming, I think the Duke recruiting to add another wing or guard kind of maybe push Joey away. Because, I mean, realistically, maybe he thought in his mind that he had a chance to come back and maybe fill that shooter role and fill that spot next to Derek. I don't think any Duke fan really had that in their mind. I don't think the coaching staff had that in their mind. Oh man, somebody's calling me. Sorry. But I think
What insider is it? What former player is it?
Let me stop. Let me take this. Let me take this off. But
hold up who it is. Hold up the contact. Who is it?
No, I can't do that because that would get me in trouble. But I think Mel said Joey left before Proctor. No, I think Proctor was planning to come up regardless. Especially that's what they said.
Yeah, he probably got wind of it, and it happened to be the same day that AJ Green was there. Yeah.
I think you think Proctor was coming up even if Keels came back. If we had an opening spot. But I think Proctor kind of just everyone knows the possibility of him not playing in the Duke uniform, kind of taking that Shaden Sharp route. If he stayed in the 23 class, probably, had something to do with it. But I mean, yeah, Joey Baker, for me personally, I don't know about y'all, but when I heard that news, I was like, okay.
It doesn't affect the floor that much. You just hate to see a kid who clearly is very enthusiastic about Duke and stayed longer than probably maybe he even should have if he was going to transfer, right? Like, and clearly he did that because he loved Duke, and so losing a kid who loves Duke, even if he's not really going to affect the on the court output, it just kind of sucks to see. I mean, I would have rather have seen him, graduate, and do something else or something, like just seeing a guy leave who was a blood, sweat, and tears Duke guy always just kind of sucks.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, he got his degree. We got a Duke degree, brother, and we're gonna root for you wherever you go. For sure. I don't want anyone to just say, "Oh, if Joey Baker is a contributing player on another roster, don't be like, oh, what if he stayed at Duke?" Because it's just there are greener. Sometimes the grass is greener. But yeah, enough going. Number one, there's someone on Twitter that's impersonating me.
I see that.
I'm about to report your account, brother. If you're trying to mess with me, but
it's Kennedy Meeks' alias.
It's probably Armando Baycott. Shout out, I see you, Dylan. Shout out to you.
No, friends don't do friends like that.
No, that's not. But since we covered all that, whoever left, now we jump into the real conversation, the new roster.
Yeah, man.
So this is the new roster coming up. I think for the most part. Besides, I don't know, am I missing anybody on this list?
I mean, yeah,
none of the
Lively,
obvious
Mitchell.
minute earners, I don't think.
Yeah, and I definitely put Grandison. I grouped that 6 on purpose, so I don't. Some people don't assume that's the starting lineup. So
That's
but
smart.
we will
So
talk about
I guess let's get into that. What are you, if you today, not seeing practice videos or anything, what would be, and Russ, we can start with you so we get the long-winded one out of the way. Well, who's your starting 5 right now?
Oh man, I'm inclined to just go ahead and let Proctor run. Just get him in there early. I realize that Grandison is the more polished option. I get that. I texted with some of you guys about this. I think we're getting to this point where people are underrating Proctor. I think that people, because he's a reclass.
You mean overrated?
No, I think they're
he thinks
underrating Proctor.
Oh, okay.
Because they see the reclass and they assume, oh, he's like 170. He can't defend. Grandison's a way better defender. Oh, he's not going to come in and shoot like Grandison can. Oh, he can't do the things that Grandison can. First of all, Grandison is a fine team defender, right? I think especially in terms of experience, he's going to provide a lot in that realm. Certainly more than Proctor can in terms of experience. Grandison is a much more experienced shooter as well, but Proctor was a very good shooter overseas. I mean, like over 40% from 3 type of dude. Like I don't see him coming in and like really sucking from 3 or anything. And Proctor is much like Grandison. Proctor is a tremendous passer. He's a great passer. He sees the game so well. He just is the higher upside guy. So maybe you start with Grandison, sure, but like I think that a lot of the stuff that I see where people also think that Grandison is a 2 guard, Grandison is not a 2 guard. Like let's put that out there right now. I do not think Grandison's a 2. Like Whitehead would play the 2 if we're starting Grandison. Grandison is like going to be defending 3s, maybe 4s, depending on whether Flip or Mitchell's on the court. That's what he did at Illinois. It was a small ball 4 for the most part. So anybody who's tweeting at me that Roach Grandison is the backcourt, stop it, dude. Just stop. I'd go Roach, Proctor, Whitehead, Lively, probably Flip.
So you said what?
I'd go Roach, Proctor, Whitehead, Lively, and probably Flip, depending on who the matchup is.
Yeah, I have to go Flip. You got to go Flip.
All right, Zan, let's hear yours, and I'll jump in.
All right. Yeah, I mean, kind of like Russ, and kind of I tweeted yesterday. I think it's gonna be fluid next year, kind of like AJ was this year. Like there's, especially because I think we legitimately have 6 starters, or
7
6 guys competing for the, or maybe if you want to put Mark in there too. People competing for the, or at least so many people competing for that spot. I think obviously the locks, Jeremy Roach is a lock, Derek is a lock, Derek is a lock. I think Flip is a lock too. That last spot, I think is going to vary obviously, but off the bat, I might give it to Grandison, and it's or I don't know. I might give it a Proctor, and it's Proctor's to lose. So going into camp, I think they'll envision it with Proctor there, kind of like they envision AJ Griffin being that guy, and then all of a sudden, oh, it's Trevor Keels is outplaying AJ Griffin in August and September, and now Trevor Keels is a starter. I think it could be something like that. It's going to be Proctor's job to lose. because Grandison is a vet, and I don't think he's going to be deterred by not starting. I think he's going to get enough minutes. I think he has a role playing the 3 and the 4, emergency 2. I know he's not a 2, but I think he's an emergency type 2. But it's going to be fluid, and I just think there's too much time right now to make that prediction.
Yeah, and listen, it's not what we think Scheyer will do, because I think you're right. It'll be fluid. We're not going to have the same starting lineup on November 7th, I think, as our first game, and the same we have going into March. I hope we go deeper to answer most question. I would hope so. I would assume so. I think when Scheyer coached a few games the last couple of years, they went deeper normally than they would have, or gave guys a little bit longer of rest breaks than Coach K did. I like Proctor. I'm not, and I'm kind of the opposite of you, Russ. I'm not as thrilled to. I mean, I'm happy he's there, but I don't see him as that surefire one and done freshman. He played overseas. Australia is way less competition than the United States, especially EYBL and all of that. These guys coming up. And then in the Summit game, the Nike Hoop Summit game, he scored 3 points on 1 of 4 shooting with, I think I have the stats up here, with 1 assist and 1 rebound. So, and that was against the United States competition with Whitehead, Filipowski, you have Nick Smith Jr., Cam Whitmore. So it was a bunch of really good, talented incoming freshmen, and he didn't fare all that well. I'm not saying I expected him to go out and score 20, but I'm thinking right off the bat, it might be Grandison's spot to lose. Not him playing the 2. You'd probably move Whitehead to the 2, which is a big lineup. That's a tall lineup, and I'm not sure Whitehead has the versatility to guard a 2 guard in college basketball. I guess we'll find out, but I do think I agree with Zion. It's going to be fluid. I personally just think it's Grandison's to lose at this point. And I know somebody in the comments was asking about Jalen Blake's. I have no clue. I wouldn't expect him to be a factor this year. Or I think Jaden Schutt could be a little bit more of a factor too, but we're talking your 8th and 9th guys, even 10th guys at that point. So I'm actually really excited. This is maybe a bad take, but I'm excited for Ryan Young just to be on this team. I think he's going to make Derek Lively so much better before the season starts. He's like 23, 24 years old. He's 6'10". He's played in the Big Ten where they battle and bruise each other. And Derek just really used his size to his advantage in high school, especially coming on late in last summer and then this high school season. He's not a dominant scorer by any means. I don't think he averaged just over 10 points a game last summer. Maybe it was a little bit more than that, but going up against Ryan Young in practice is going to be great for him and get him prepared for college. So I'm excited for that. And then just seeing how Flip transitions from the high school game to college is going to be interesting. I like his game a lot.
Monty said your Ryan Young is just Base Jones 2.0, Ryan.
That's fine. That's all. I'm not saying I think he's going to go out and play a bunch. I'm saying for Lively's to make Lively a better player and go up against a guy of his size every day in practice is what's going to make Derek Lively improve more throughout the season and coming into the season. This isn't like start Ryan Young chat. This is just like, I'm happy he's on the roster to get Derek some competition that he's not used to. So yeah, but I'm pumped to see Filipowski. He's talked about being a multi-year guy at Duke, which would shock me, but he's going to be able to stretch the floor at that 4, especially with Lively in the paint. So but yeah, I'm going Roach, Whitehead, Grandison, Flip, and Lively. That'd be my starting 5 right now. But like you said, it's going to switch a lot, man. I think you'll see a couple different, especially with the matchups, like you said, going big and going small. It's going to be fun to watch.
I will say that I was talking to somebody. This is not whatever y'all gonna see inside info, but I was talking to somebody inside, well, close to the Duke program, and they said that they expect Scheyer to open up the rotation at least early on. Like, and I'm in my opinion, he has to, because I tweeted yesterday, I see okay, Russ is back. I see about 9 guys, 8. I said 8 guys yesterday, 9 guys who could play.
Yeah.
And I think the wild card is Jaden Schutt. If Jaden Schutt can become a sniper, just be that sniper, like at any point, not a Alex O'Connell, not what Joey Baker gave us, but a guy that can genuinely just be a shooter off rip a consistent shooter, then he has to play. And I think
Yeah.
that's going to be the ninth guy. I don't know about Kale Catchings. I can't, because I've watched some Kale Catchings. A lot of people will say, "Oh, I don't. Why wouldn't you have Kale Catchings?" And Kale Catchings has played his. You watch his tape at Harvard. He was playing the 4 and sometimes the 5 at 6'6", 220, and you could get away with that in the Ivy League. But that's not going to translate as well to the ACC because he's not as skilled and he doesn't move like a wing. Like a lot of people were classifying him as as a small forward type. He's not really that. I think he's more of a small ball 4 or 5 in most cases at a smaller school. And I don't think we necessarily need that because I look at this roster, I see versatility like crazy. Like the fact that I think Mark Mitchell off the bench is going to be very, very fun because he's not a guy. I think obviously he's not a great shooter, but he's just like one of those. I feel like he's going to be one of those motor guys who does it all, does a little bit of everything. He plays the 4. Maybe you throw him at the 3 sometimes, but he's going to give us some serious versatility defensively. I just look at a lineup like Proctor, Derek, Mark, Grandison, and Lively defensively. I mean, Proctor's not going to be great defensively, but he's 6'4" and long. So, like, you're going to have so much matchups to be able to, throw out there and different lineups to be able to throw out there. That's why I'm mostly excited about with this roster.
Yeah, and I think talking about guys like Ryan Young and Jaden Schutt and Blakes and Catchings and shoot. I say shoot, whatever. Yeah. I know his whole like brand I think is around shooting, so we'll go with shoot. Regardless, it's not slandering them. It's just like you look at this lineup and it's like none of those guys are going to start in place of anybody else. They're going to get their minutes. It's not like saying they're bad players or already starting the slander. It's just that their minutes are going to be a little bit fewer and far between than the guys that you have up top in the top 6 there. I agree with you on Mark Mitchell. I'm not going to act like I'm on the EYBL circuit every weekend the last 3 summers watching him, but just like his role, I feel like is going to be around that Justice Winslow type role. He's not going to be starting. He's going to be coming off the bench, but like good defender, versatile, can shoot it a little bit, and can step up and make big plays. And I think the one thing we haven't mentioned it, Jeremy Roach coming back. Are we going to get the Jeremy Roach that the March Jeremy Roach, or are we going to see the one that we saw the first couple months of the season? And I fully expect to see, Jeremy Roach take over this team, be the leader that he's coming back to be, and be what we saw in March. But I think this team's ceiling is whatever Jeremy Roach's ceiling is, and where he's going to take us where we can go, regardless of all the talent we have. And so excited to see him up all of his averages this year, and also just grow as a leader. And so seeing him out there and coming back is awesome. And I hope this team flourishes under him.
Listen, if Jeremy Roach takes that next step, we will be playing in April.
I agree.
That's all I know. Because I just see this team has too much talent. Like, and if you have that veteran leading us, we have another guy like Grandison who's 24 years old. I don't think y'all understand how crazy this he's turning 25 next year. He's like a year older, a year younger than me. Like, that's crazy to me. Like having his veteran presence. Ryan Young has played a lot of college basketball games. I think a lot of people are gonna harp on the the lack of experience from our freshmen, but like I think we got enough if Jeremy Roach takes that next step.
And the nice thing about this Grandison edition is like he could have gone anywhere really in the portal. I mean, I know Kentucky was looking at him, and him coming to campus this week and leaving, like he has an understanding of what his role is going to be. Duke didn't have to overpromise him anything. They knew how they wanted to use him. They told him about it when he was on campus, and he agreed to that. Whatever they talked about, he had to agree to that role if he was going to commit like before he left. And so the fact that he did, I think, gives me confidence. It wasn't just like Duke wasn't a last-ditch effort for him, or he was looking for a specific role, and I think he found it during his visit. There's Russ. You back, Russ?
I think.
this is way more clear, and I think you're much better than you were before. So let's
stick to this, man.
Yeah.
Baby, let's go.
But yeah, I'm excited for Grandison. I'm super excited for Derek, man. Hopefully we can get some of these guys on the show this summer. But Derek's going to be the guy. Like Derek's going to be the leading scorer, I think, or should be.
Okay,
I think
interesting. That's interesting.
it'll be between him and probably Roach, in my opinion. But I think Derek will lead the team in scoring. Dude's a dog, man. He's really good. He's going to be one of the best freshmen that has put on the jersey, I think. And so I'm excited to watch him, man. I'm high on Derek.
What I miss, Zion. What I miss. Hold on, what I miss.
We were just talking about I guess more of the roster and starting lineup. Did you give your start? You gave your starting lineup, right? Yeah.
And hey, Mel acting like I can't DM any of these players. Jeez, come on, Mel.
Let me clarify something that I said earlier. I said probably Flip. I think Flip will start. I do think that what we'll probably see, everything I've heard about Mark Mitchell, dude, is real good. I mean, like, dude is going to get after.
You want to drop the scrimmage?
Sure. So a buddy of mine watched the scrimmage, at K Academy, the player scrimmage, except for Lively and Proctor, and obviously Grandison wasn't there yet. And first of all, my man left thinking Whitehead is just God's gift, right? Like Whitehead he looks the part, he plays the part. I know my buddy Jim Root from Three Man Weave said, like, he thinks that if there is an All-American in a Duke jersey this year, that, like, he thinks Whitehead should be the leading candidate for that. I'm kind of inclined to agree. Like, he's going to play such a huge role. I think it was Ryan said earlier, who can Whitehead defend the two? I tell you what, if he can't defend the two, we don't really have someone who can defend the two. Like Proctor's not really a pure defender of twos at this point. Grandison, I don't think, can defend twos in the ACC, like one-on-one on an island. Roach is too small. Like, Whitehead is going to draw that assignment when he's on the court, unless like Shoot or like maybe Blake's is on the floor. But Whitehead, I think, is very versatile on that end. Definitely has the capacity to do that. And then just an all-around player. And Mark Mitchell, just the way he gets up and down, the way his high motor. I mean, like, he's the sort of dude that we're going to see. Like, freshmen are going to go through their lulls, the ups and downs. They all do. But the motor on Mitchell is going to make such a big difference. And I think that I think it was Zion who tweeted about, like, the versatility of our lineup when Mitchell is on the floor instead of Flip is going to be huge. So I think in the same way that even last year we saw some games where Mark only played like 15 minutes just due to like lineup problems, right? Just because we didn't want to put Mark on an island, against a small player on the other team. Flip can't really get out there like that, but Mitchell can. So I think that we're going to see a lot more of Mitchell at the 4 and Lively at the 5 than like people. I think that there are going to be matchups where Flip is going to beast, and I think that there are going to be matchups where Flip might have some limited minutes just due to the matchup. So that's why I'm very, very high on Mitchell, and that's why I said probably Kyle. I think Flip will still start, but you will see the games where Flip plays like 12 minutes and Mark plays more, and people should not panic about Flip when it's based on the matchups, same as we were preaching with Mark last year.
Yeah, but I think also you got to be ready for. I do think there's going to be games where Flip is going to be playing more than Lively, and Lively might take the backseat because I think
in a half-court game, yes, sure.
I think Flip brings offensively. Probably, I think offensively he might be he's a top 3 offensive player on this team. Maybe top 2.
You said 2. Flip?
Yeah, Flip.
Yeah, top 3. Top 2 might be a stretch, putting him over Roach and Whitehead, but yeah, top 3 by far.
I will say Whitehead, you could argue he's a little bit more. He brings more offensively than Whitehead because I think we have to watch Whitehead for his jumper. I think his jumper has improved the past year a lot as a senior in high school, but we got to see it first in the college level for me to,
I think he doesn't. I think he does enough outside of having to shoot. Like
Yes, but if you have a guard that does not shoot as well and you're forcing to shoot, you could take away a lot of his game. I think Flip has everything in his bag offensively.
I agree.
It's just more about, I think the physical side of things for him.
Yeah.
I want to see how Flip responds in those games where the other team, like if I'm coaching against Duke, my number one thing is if Scheyer is going to run anything with anything resembling switching, get Flip on an island. Like that would 100% be the way that I would coach against Duke. And it'll be interesting to see how Flip responds in those games where other teams are going to ask him to try to defend one-on-one as much as possible. How much of that offensive efficiency is he still going to be able to carry on the other end when he faces that adversity?
100%.
I think this is like the perfect roster for Scheyer to start his career, and like how we're going to see him navigate this season with different lineups. Like it's not just like we have one identity, and he's going to have so much room to work with as far as lineup changes, in-game changes, adjusting to how people adjust to our offensive changes as well. So like, I think you're going to see a lot of what Scheyer is made of when it comes to being a head coach this season, just with the amount of players he can play and just seeing if he has a short string, like Coach K did on guys who missed a couple shots or if they missed a defensive adjustment or assignment. So I'm really excited to see Scheyer take over a roster with such versatility, because it's not just going to be a one-man show. I think he's going to be able to put his own twist on this thing, and that's what gets me a little more excited too.
Yeah, I will say I would have loved Theo John on this roster specifically because I feel like Ryan Young doesn't give us a physical big. He's a bigger, but I don't think he's like a physical as imposing defensive presence.
He's more in the Bates Jones realm, honestly.
Yeah, I think he's not going to be able to.
I think he's a bruiser. From what I've watched in the past and looking at, I think he's more of a bruiser.
I think he's a bruiser and he's thicker, but he's not like Theo John where he's physically can wear you down. I think
he's not a rim protector.
Yeah,
and he can't defend the perimeter. He's going to be good in that like middle range, and he's going to be able to put a body on dudes, like in terms of physicality. But like, if you're not defending, if you're not protecting the rim on this roster or defending the perimeter in an elite fashion, then that's going to create some issues, I think.
Yeah, Russ, and the one thing that I said when you were gone, and I think Young gets like that 8 to 12 to 15 minutes a game depending upon matchups, but I think he's better suited being a really, really strong practice body against Lively, who hasn't gone up against guys his size or that size at all, especially with that brute. Like you're just talking like the shoulder width and stuff. Like Lively just dominated based on pure size and length in high school, and that you're not going to get away with that in every game here. So like I said, Young will play 8 to 12 to fit whatever it ends up being, but I'm more excited to have Lively go up against him every day. And Big Ten bigs, man, they're a different breed.
And that was really my only thing with Lively. That's why I wanted Theo John, because I worry about Lively physically. He's not as bulky. Obviously, he's very skinny. You go up against Armando Bacot, he's gonna push him around. He's gonna bully him. Like, let's be real. Yeah. He's gonna bully him, and we don't really have that Theo John off the bench to maybe throw a bigger body at him. But I think for that matchup specifically, we're probably just gonna have to lose that matchup specific. Not the game, lose the Armando Bacot matchup, or figure out a way to put more pressure and maybe double him. But
I think we need to be prepared to be bullied all year. Like this team is a team with Proctor being more slight of stature in terms of weight and muscle, Lively being that way. Whitehead, while very good, being young. Grandison, not, I think he's fine. I think he's good. Roach is obviously a smaller guard. We just don't have big bodies. I think that teams that are really big are going to try to take it into our chest a lot this year. And it'll be really up to what Scheyer schemes and, our discipline on that end, planting those feet, the fundamentals which have been lacking in a lot of sort of Duke, very freshman-oriented teams in the last decade of Coach K's tenure. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Scheyer on the defensive end this year. That's really where we're going to make or break. I think to Ryan's point, we've got a lot of offensive tools for him to play with. The defense is where this team is, where Scheyer's going to have to solve some things.
Yeah, and I'm not even looking at Lively as an offensive threat, in my opinion. I love like his game is great. He's going to be very versatile. I don't want to put him on the Mark Williams comparison angle yet, but like he's just a big, long, athletic big. But just he has to learn more about being around the basket and that touch around the basket. So I wouldn't expect more than 8 a game from him. He's not going to average.
I think he get to 10.
You think he
10.
averages 10 a game this
I
season?
think it'll be dependent on if that 3-point shot is actually real, because he's flashed it, but I don't know how much confidence he has to take it on the college level.
Well, how many opportunities he'll have too. I mean, Mark this year averaged 11, man. I just don't see, and I get different teams and everything. I don't see Lively averaging more than 8. And that's not a knock on him. That's just, there's so much offensive firepower to go around.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It depends. I think tempo is the biggest issue there. If we're running a lot, then Lively's going to be running a lot. He'll get to 12 a game if we're running a lot. I mean, like he'll just get so many opportunities to open floor if we're sprinting. But with Flip on the floor, I don't think we're going to be sprinting as much. And so again, there's going to be a lot of matchup dependent stuff. Games where Lively scores 18, games where Lively scores 4. I mean, like I think it'll be interesting.
I think it'll average out. I think, like Russ said, Lively's going to get a lot of the hustle points. He's going to beat bigs down the floor. He's gonna get the offensive rebounds. He's gonna get the lobs to the rim. I think that data and alone is good for 10. And I think 2, especially when we go small, maybe with like a Mark Mitchell, we're gonna be running. They're gonna be running. So
for sure.
And he's so much faster than other bigs. Lively's so much faster.
Yeah. I think that's why he was rated number 1 based off of potential and like what he could be. And that's because of his physical tools and really, not really because of
that rebounding. We should be a good rebounding team. Lively, and that's one thing that he brings. He was averaging like 15 to 20 rebounds a game last summer and into the high school season. So and I get it, it's different size and everything, but like that's just a natural rebounder. You could be big in high school and still only put up 8 to 12 rebounds a game. He was putting up 20 rebound nights. So I'm hoping that'll translate a little bit.
And even when he's not on the floor, Grandison is a really good positional rebounder. Proctor, I think, definitely can be a good positional rebounder. You've got Flip there. Whitehead has got the tools. Mark Mitchell, when he's on the floor, is really going to be hungry for the ball. We definitely have some even Roach, honestly, for a guy his size, had games where he got like 5-6 rebounds last year.
Yeah.
So we'll be a very good rebounding team.
Yeah, I think it's a good team. I think it's a versatile team. I think for one thing I'll say, I think coming into this year is I don't think we had it last year, even though we weren't a bad shooting team. But I think we have true shooters. I don't think we've had true shooters for a minute. Grandison, I consider a true shooter because he's proven it on the college level. Shoot has to prove it to me, but I believe it. Proctor still has to prove it to me, but I believe it. I think they were ahead. They were ahead of Keels. They were ahead of even Wendell coming into this season, I would think.
Sure.
But we haven't had a real group of shooters for a while.
Yeah.
And that's really Duke basketball normally, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I think Proctor might even be better than Dell in terms of creating a 3-pointer off the bounce. Where Dell really got elite last year was the catch and the shoot. Like he was just phenomenal in that regard, but off the bounce, he was still pretty dicey. I think we do have a couple of guys who can create for themselves out there. It'll be interesting to see with guys like Proctor, even guys like Flip, the wide variance of like results that we could get depending on, how the defense goes and how the shot goes as a freshman. We'll definitely hope that these guys hit median or above median possibilities. And if they do, we'll be a title contender.
For sure. I mean, I don't got anything else. I think we covered pretty much everything. I know Ryan has to go. If y'all got any final thoughts on next year's team, put it in the comments. I don't know when we will be back. Maybe if we get somebody, a next year player coming on the show, we'll come back live. But yeah, Ryan,
man.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. I know somebody said the Jai Lucas hire was awesome. That the J, he pronounced J or Jai. I always say Jai, and I think it's J. I think it's J. Yeah. Anyways, getting J was unbelievable. That was like a
It's a coup.
thievery. That was insane. Just seeing the whole Big Blue Nation just go up in flames after that, and that was something to see, man. But yeah, that'll be great. He's a great young coach. Basically, just replaces Nolan, and we're not going to slander Nolan. Not saying he's going to be what Nolan was, but like that's his role. I feel like in the recruiting aspect, an up and coming guy who played at a high level. So, super excited for him. But yeah, other than that, man, this is gonna be a fun next season. Hopefully, there's.
Oh wait, are you going to Indy? I bought my ticket already, so I'm going to Indy.
I'm gonna try.
You can't say you try. It's crazy because he texted me late at night, random night. Oh, you want to go to Indy? I was like, nah, maybe not. I was like, I look at the fight tickets. I was like, let me buy it now and just
I have like 2 trips this fall coming up. I turned 30. Whew, yikes! I turned 30 in October, so we're going to Vegas and kind of went all out on that. And then I'm also married with a kid, so like I'll try to be in Indy, and maybe April and I will come along. But we got to figure that out. I got to talk to her about it, and we'll see. I'm gonna
30,
try.
poor baby.
I know. But yeah, so we're doing Vegas then. So, and with gas prices, man, these flights they ain't getting any cheaper. So
that's very nasty. How I committed to.
It's you could probably drive there for like five and all. You're probably a little further.
No,
yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna make it a point. I'm gonna try.
Yeah. Who we playing?
I'll be in Portland
Kansas,
Thanksgiving.
right?
I'll be in Portland.
Nice. Yeah, we play Kansas.
We playing the PK 80 next year.
PK 85.
PK 85.
PK 85.
Yeah,
making up numbers.
PK 80 was one of the best events I've ever been to in my entire life. PK 85. I expect the same.
Who are we expecting to play in the PK?
Gonzaga, maybe Texas, I think, is one of them.
Oh, Gonzaga's about to be crazy.
But we got to get there. It's a tournament style. We're going to be on opposite. See, that's stupid. They combine these two.
Yeah, and that PK 80, that was the most heart attack inducing.
Yeah, because we were down like 10 every game.
we were down with like 10 minutes left to Portland State, and then we were down to like I think it was Texas. With like with like a minute left, and and then Florida went to overtime. That was rough, man. But I tell you what, the event itself and the organization of it was unbelievable. It's going to be great. I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, we could play Florida, Oregon State, Portland State, Purdue, West Virginia. Oh, yeah, Zags and Virginia, West Virginia, and Xavier. So basically, Florida, Gonzaga, Purdue, West Virginia, and Xavier.
Zach Edey would be an interest. Yeah, that would be an interesting. There's a lot of bigs in there that would really test our guys. I mean, obviously, Drew Timme would be a very interesting matchup for our young bigs. Zach Edey. Very interesting matchup for our young bigs.
I gave Zach Edey a slander, but now it's Lively, not Mark Williams, so it's a different story.
He's a unit, man. It'll be interesting, but I'll be there. Hell or high water, I'll be there, baby.
Sweet. Yeah, hopefully we can get a couple guys on this summer, but otherwise, if we don't, we'll see y'all this fall.
Yes, sir. Thanks. Appreciate y'all.
Mark Mitchell, get on the podcast, baby. I'm on my